Hi everybody, my name is Maria and welcome back to my channel. So for today's yoga sequence, I decided to flow through a sequence for our posture because we are sitting more at home these days, working from home. We are slouching as we're sitting down, so I thought it would be very beneficial for all of us to flow to a sequence for posture. A lot of the sequences are going to be heart openers, so that'll open your shoulders and fix your posture. I also have a couple of moves in the sequence that help our hips to open up, as well as stretch our hamstrings, which can definitely cause back pain if you have any. I also want you guys to grab 2 yoga blocks or anything that can support your back, as we will be finishing in supported fish pose, which will be a beautiful finishing touch to this beautiful yoga sequence. So grab your mat and meet me on the mat. We will begin in a wide child pose. Spread apart your legs so they're about as wide as your mat. Extend your arms out in front of you and reach the mat with your forehead. For a deeper stretch, you may place your chin on the mat instead of your forehead. Continue to breathe in your normal breathing pattern as you remain in child pose. Keeping your hips wide, inhale and lift into tabletop position. We will flow through cat and cow. Inhale as you arch your back and drop your belly towards the ground. Exhale as you round your back, shift your tailbone down and tuck your chin in towards your chest. Flow through cat and cow sequence at your own pace, feeling a nice stretch in your back. And reach out slightly forward with your hands, placing them at a slight angle. Tuck your toes and press into downward facing dog. Walk out your feet, feeling a nice stretch in your calves. You have an option for a deeper stretch, so come into a squat. And also you have an option to flow through some body waves. And don't worry if you don't feel you are comfortable doing the body waves yet. With practice, you will get better and better. And return to downward facing dog. Slightly bend your knees as you alternate between bending and straightening. This is a great exercise for stretching out our hamstrings and calves. And walk to the front of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold. I want you to inhale and exhale as you bend and stretch further into your fold. If you can, reach for your ankles, shins, toes, or feet for a further stretch. You have an option to bend your knees if the stretch is too much or not accessible at this time. Grab onto your opposite elbows here for ragdoll. Allow yourself to hang and sway side to side as you feel heavy in your upper body. You will feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings. Bend your knees if the stretch is too much. Hold here for several breaths. Release. Inhale, come into halfway lift, placing your hands on your shins, making your nice back flat. Exhale and fold. Inhale as you lift and come into mountain pose. Bringing your arms up towards the sky, exhale to clasp your hands and slowly begin to bend backwards, stopping at a point that is comfortable for you. Inhale and return upright, lowering your hands to heart center. Inhale and extend your arms up towards the sky. And with an exhale, I want you to bend towards your left side. So you feel a nice stretch along your right side, which is very important for maintaining a good posture. Inhale to return to center. And then exhale as you bend towards your right side, this time elongating your left. Inhale and return to upright position. Lower your hands to heart center. Exhale and hinge from your hips to fold into a standing forward fold. We will be coming into plank pose, so find a comfortable stand to reach for the mat and place your hands firmly on the mat. A strong core is very important for good posture, so let's hang out in plank pose for a few breaths. Shift slightly forward on your tippy toes, lower yourself into chaturanga, stop into hover, and then lower yourself to the mat. Adjust yourself if you are too much forward and off the mat. Place your hands under your shoulders, inhale and slowly lift into cobra pose. Make sure you keep your elbows pointing behind you. And exhale as you lower. We will repeat this cobra sequence 4 more times. And with each inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, lower back towards the mat, keeping the movement slow and controlled. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And as you come into the last cobra, I want you to hold it for a few extra breaths. Inhale to lift. And slowly lower down towards the mat. Press up through your hands, tuck your toes, and press up into downward facing dog. Again, walk out your feet. Perhaps you feel less tension and tightness in your calves. Option is to do several squats and knee bends. You take a big step forward to the front of the mat, coming into standing forward fold. Inhale and exhale as you reach for your ankles, shins, or feet. Perhaps you're feeling less tension now. Challenge yourself, but make sure to back off if you feel any pain at any point. Place your left hand on the mat in front of you, fist the floor, bend your left knee, and open your chest towards the right side. Hold here for several breaths. And lower your hand back down towards the mat. Switch to fist the floor with your right hand, bend your right knee, and open your chest towards your left. And lower your arm back to the mat. Place your hands firmly on the mat and step back into plank. Again, we will hold here for several breaths. And shift forward, lower into chaturanga, stopping to hover. And lower down completely onto the mat. And clasp your hands behind your back. Take a few breaths. And then I want you to inhale and lift your chest. and gaze up in front of you. Keep your pelvis and quads pressed into the mat. Hold here for a few breaths. And feel your chest and shoulders open. Exhale and lower with control. Take a couple breaths to reset yourself. And when ready, I want you to again inhale and lift your chest up. Inhale and lift your chest. Remember to breathe as you stay in this pose. And exhale to lower. And reset your breath here, and then let's lift one more time. Inhale to lift your chest. And lift as high as you can for your final lift. Exhale and lower. Release your hands and bring them under your shoulders. Press up and shift your hips towards your heels for wide child pose. Since we did a bit of back work, let's reset our spine and regather our breath. Stay here for a few breaths. Come up into tabletop, tuck your toes, and press into downward facing dog. Walk out your legs a few times. And then come into a squat once again. And take a step forward, coming into standing forward fold. Inhale and lift into halfway lift, placing your hands on your shins, your back is flat. Exhale and fold. Reach for your ankles, shins and feet. See if you can challenge yourself to reach further than the previous forward fold. Make sure to release if you feel any pain. Place your hands onto the mat and step back into plank. And then again, I want you to hold here for several breaths. Shift forward, lower into Chaturanga. Hover perhaps a slight longer than the previous time, and then lower to the mat. And then place your hands out by your sides with your palms facing down. We're going to come up into locust pose. So I want you to press your pelvis into the mat. And then inhale as you lift your arms and legs and chest into locust pose. Your pelvis will be the only body part pressing into the mat. Remember to breathe as you hold and exhale as you lower. And let's repeat a couple more times. So reset your breath here, and then when you're ready, we're going to repeat. Inhale and lift your chest, legs and arms. Make sure your shoulders are back and away from your ears. Hold here. And exhale as you lower. Reset your breath here, and then for the final locust pose, I want you to try to lift higher than the previous times. Challenge yourself. Inhale and lift. Keep breathing as you hold in this beautiful locust pose. Try to go higher, lift higher if you can. And then lower as you exhale.
Reset your breath here, and then we're going to shift our hips back into child pose. Press through your hands and shift your hips back onto your heels, coming into child pose. We're going to hold here again for a few breaths, just resetting ourselves and stretching out our hips at the same time. And come into tabletop pose, and let's flow through the cat and cow sequence one more time, since it's a very nice stretch for your back. So remember to exhale on your cats as you round your back, and inhale on your cows as you drop your belly towards the mat. And return to tabletop, and let's slowly roll over onto our backs. So I want you to lower down vertebrae by vertebrae onto the mat. And bring your knees into your chest. I want you to rock side to side here. Release your left leg and straighten it out. Continue to hug your right knee, pulling it closer in towards your armpit. Grab onto the outer side of your foot and open your leg so it is now bent at about a 90-degree angle for half happy baby. Continue to press your knee down in towards your armpit. Release and start to reach for the outside of your right knee with your left hand. Bring your right leg across your body, lowering your foot and knee towards the ground or as much as accessible. Press both shoulders into the mat and turn your gaze towards the right side. Hold in the supine pose for a few breaths, feeling a nice release in your back. Slowly release and bring both knees in towards your chest. Again, rock side to side here. And this time release your right leg and continue to hug your left knee, pressing the knee into your armpit. Grab onto the outer side of your foot and open your leg for half happy baby. Release and reach for the outside of your left knee with your right hand. Bring your left leg across your body, lowering your foot and knee towards the ground as much as accessible. Keep both your shoulders pressed into the mat and turn your gaze towards the left side. Hold for several breaths. Slowly begin to release and bring both of your knees into your chest. Rock side to side here for a bit. And release. Let's do a couple of bridges before we finish the supported fish pose. Place your feet firmly on the mat as close to your glutes. Make sure your back is pressed into the mat and your shoulders are rolled back. Press through your feet and lift your pelvis up towards the sky. Keep your arms by your sides. Tuck your chin in towards your chest to keep your neck neutral. You can adjust your hands. You can place them under your body or you can have them out by your sides. This is up to you. And then exhale as you lower. Reset your breath here, and then we're going to do one last bridge here. Press through your feet, inhale, and lift your pelvis towards the sky. You should have this feeling that your legs are turning a little bit inward, creating that parallel feeling with your legs. Exhale and release. Bring your knees in towards your chest, and one last time, let's rock side to side. And for a nice finishing touch in this sequence, let's grab our 2 blocks or anything else you are using to support your back and head. Place one block that your head will rest on and the other block at a point in your chest. You feel nice and supported and will feel your chest open and expand. You may need to adjust your blocks as needed. And then once you find that comfortable spot, allow yourself to relax. Allow your thoughts to drift by. And you may keep your legs straight or you may bring them into bound angle pose with your soles together for an additional inner thigh stretch. And allow yourself to be in this pose for as long as your practice allows. Thank you so much for joining me today on the mat, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.